The story starts with a mysterious person easily beating a group of enemies, showing amazing skills. Then we meet Taro Sakamoto, a famous hitman who was feared by all criminals. His reputation was so strong that other hitmen admired him. But his life changed when he fell in love with a woman. He decided to leave his dangerous life, marry her, and have a daughter. Over time, he gained weight and opened a small convenience store. One day, a young man named Shin visits Sakamoto's store. Sakamoto notices a boy who often comes there. This time, the boy accidentally spills ink on a man's white pants. The man gets really mad and grabs the boy, about to hurt him. Sakamoto steps in to stop him. For a moment, Sakamoto thinks about hurting the man, but he chooses not to. Shin, who has been watching, understands what Sakamoto was thinking. Shin is also a hitman and can read minds. He introduces himself and says he used to work for Sakamoto. Sakamoto doesn't say anything but briefly thinks about slapping Shin, which makes Shin nervous. The two sit outside, and Shin is surprised to see Sakamoto working a normal job. He asks Sakamoto to come back to being a hitman, but Sakamoto says he wants to stay away from that life. Shin reminds him that he was famous, but Sakamoto just enjoys his food. Shin also notices how much weight Sakamoto has gained, making him look very different. While Shin lights a cigarette, Sakamoto quickly cuts it in half with his skills, showing he still has his old abilities. Shin realizes that Sakamoto could easily kill him if he wanted to. Then, a delivery man arrives and asks Sakamoto for help. Shin wonders if Sakamoto is secretly still a hitman, but it turns out the delivery man just needs help with a tree. Sakamoto is known for helping people with small tasks, earning the respect of the neighborhood. Shin is frustrated by this and leaves, saying he no longer respects Sakamoto. But Shin still feels Sakamoto is powerful. Later, Shin gets a call from his boss, who asks if he convinced Sakamoto to come back to the gang. When Shin says no, the boss orders him to kill Sakamoto. The boss says anyone who leaves the gang must be killed. Shin doesn't want to kill Sakamoto, but after thinking, he decides if Sakamoto must die, he wants to be the one to do it. The next day, Shin goes back to the store. Sakamoto's wife greets him as he quietly loads a silencer onto his gun. Shin enters the store and tells Sakamoto he's leaving town and wants to say goodbye. Shin shoots, but Sakamoto spits out his candy, stopping the bullet. Sakamoto then throws an ice cream at Shin and disappears. Shin tries to read Sakamoto's mind but can't. Suddenly, Sakamoto kicks Shin in the face, sending him flying. Shin crashes to the ground, realizing he made a big mistake trying to fight Sakamoto. Shin wakes up in Sakamoto's home above the store. Sakamoto invites him to dinner with his family. Shin feels confused, wondering if the food is dangerous. But when he tries the food, it's surprisingly delicious. It's been a long time since he had a proper, home-cooked meal. Sakamoto says he felt the same way when he first tasted it. For the first time, Shin feels happiness he's never known in his dangerous life. He starts to understand why Sakamoto left his old life for these peaceful moments. After dinner, Shin thanks Sakamoto and gets ready to leave. Sakamoto shows him a sign that says, "Thank you, come again." Shin goes back to his gang, where his boss scolds him for not killing Sakamoto. Shin begs for Sakamoto's life, saying he's happy with his family now. The others laugh at him, but the boss says Sakamoto broke the rules and must die. To protect Sakamoto, Shin offers to die in his place. The boss pretends to agree but secretly wonders why he should listen to Shin. Shin, who can read minds, hears the boss's orders and pulls out a gun, ready to fight. At the store, Sakamoto listens through a hidden device, revealing a stash of weapons. But instead of a gun, he grabs a taser and heads out. During the fight, Shin uses his psychic powers to dodge attacks. At one point, he narrowly escapes a bazooka shot. The boss orders his men to surround Shin from a distance. Eventually, Shin runs out of bullets and is trapped. Just as the gang members are about to kill him, Sakamoto arrives and uses his taser to take them down. Sakamoto defeats the gang with chopsticks, catching bullets and moving faster than anyone can follow. The boss orders a full attack, but Sakamoto skillfully dodges bullets and cuts their guns in half. In the end, Sakamoto takes down the gang and the boss with ease. Shin, who is completely amazed, asks Sakamoto how he knew he was in danger. Sakamoto casually reveals that he placed a tracker in Shin's gun, allowing him to keep track of Shin's movements. Shin, who is now starting to trust Sakamoto, agrees to leave town. However, he decides to stay and work at Sakamoto's store instead of running away. Thanks for watching Sakamoto Days first episode. Like and subscribe to Weebsphere for more videos like this.